big push just received recently its big ending. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am still catching up on some content I've been wanting to do for a while, so this is late, yes, I know, but this is a brief video giving my thoughts on the rumors that seem to have come true as of late, since about the Royal Rumble, shortly after day one, when he dropped the WWE Championship. Big E was moved back to SmackDown. Not only was he moved back to SmackDown, he was put back and relegated back to the tag team division with his former New Day partner, brethren, Kofi Kingston, as King Woods, Xavier Woods, is still out with injury right now, of course, also. So, the rumors have it that the reason why they put Big E back on SmackDown is because, they see nothing else for him right now as a single star. And they're basically doing exactly what happened with Kofi Kingston back in 2019. Once his title ended, once his title run ended, which once again was also to Brock Lesnar, he's being relegated back to a mid-card tag team division. Not even being considered right now a main event star, which is very disappointing indeed. As I'll say this before I get into my meat of this video. Even though Big E did not really develop much at all, unfortunately, in the singles run he had in 2021, a time like this for WWE, where they really have no stars, they got rid of over half of their roster over the past year, would you think this would be the prime time to be building new stars? And somebody who could easily be a main event star that I've been begging to for years, they just gave a shot to this past year, was Big E. Again, the moment as a late bloomer wrestling fan, it'll be 9 years this August when I first considered myself a wrestling fan. SummerSlam 2013. It'll be 9 years. And one of those stars that wasn't really developed yet, that was just getting started up on the main roster when I first started watching wrestling, Big E, I looked at this guy and thought, this guy I feel like I can get invested in. This is a guy that I could see being a big star someday. Give him time to build up and do so. Yes, he was relegated to New Day for how many years? And again, no disrespect to the New Day. No disrespect whatsoever. New Day, Hall of Famers, successful stable, something that wasn't supposed to work at first. They somehow got over to work. But of course, obviously, those three guys can do much more than just be in a tag team division. Xavier Woods has not really, of course, Xavier Woods, is never going to be a world champion. But with some things here and there he's done with him being King Woods, and once in a blue moon to some other little, low card storylines he's been a part of, Xavier Woods showed me that maybe at least like a mid-carder or whatnot, he can still put on a story and have a relevant character as a single star. Kofi Kingston, despite the fact that they made him feel like a mid-carder as world champion, I feel like really held his ground and did a great job representing the company as world champion. Told a great story. But of course, as soon as they ended that reign to Brock Lesnar, he went back to just, being happy clapping New Day again. And they're doing the same thing right here to Big E. And I posted when I tweeted for a week about wrestling again a couple weeks ago. Someone actually, of course, I tweeted about how I was disappointed with how Big E's singles run went and how it was a flop, unfortunately. And he tweeted towards me and he said, Intercontinental title, Money in the Bank holder, world champion. How is that on possibly being a singles flop? Let me ask you a question. In 10 years from now, would you remember anything from this past year Big E had with his titles? Maybe, like some little things, but honestly, it's nothing you're going to be screaming about. It's nothing you're going to be raving about for years. And this is not Big E's fault whatsoever. But the one thing that obviously, in my opinion, again, you may think different. A lot of people say that why does he have to change his gimmick when he's a single star? It's not that they have to completely change the gimmick. It's just that they gotta have some type of character development. The story here was Big E basically, let's go back to summer of 2020. Yes, Big E was on his own. Xavier Woods had been out for an injury for a while. Kofi Kingston was injured with a minor injury. It was Big E's time to shine. And, he was getting some time to shine. And, of course, people were just getting on him saying, you're still your happy-go-lappy, clapping ass, smiling New Day character. Well, obviously, that sets a stage where, obviously, people think that's not enough. Big E wants to show he's got more in the tank than being just a happy, smiling, dancing around, booty-shaking guy. And at first, I thought they were succeeding with it. Because he feuded with Sheamus. And, yes, at first it wasn't the greatest matches in the world. They didn't have the best chemistry, but one match I will give credit they had. They had a match on SmackDown. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was a pretty good match. And then when they brought back Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, they had the swerve of them winning the tag titles, and then they drafted them to Raw immediately, and Big E stayed on SmackDown. So now again, it is that story of, okay, can Big E, do it on his own? Obviously, he has the emotions of, just getting his brothers back, and then getting to take it away from again, going off to the other brand. It was an intriguing story. Then they kind of slowed down on him for a bit. They didn't do much of them until he won the Intercontinental title from Sami Zayn on the Christmas edition of SmackDown that, remember, got 4 million viewers. 4 million viewers on Christmas Day for SmackDown on Fox. I was quite surprised, if I'm being honest. And he had his title defenses, yes. His Intercontinental title run was okay. But again, he just didn't really have too much character development. But he had some, I would say, getting a little more serious, especially when Apollo Crews turned heel. And I don't know if things got messed up, because remember, he was originally supposed to feud with Aleister Black for SummerSlam last year. Until 2 weeks after they started the feud, they released him. And then they had him win Money in the Bank, which was perfect. That I was also give credit for WWE. That was the right move. But then they just became desperate with the releases, and with AEW just booming on business, especially in the end of August, early September, bring in a matter of just a few weeks, CM Punk. Well, actually, let's within the few months between the summer and the fall, they brought in Andrade El Idolo, Malachi Black, just 1 month after his release, because they found a little flaw in his plan. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole, Ruby Riott, they were just booming on business. So they desperately, without not much story, just have Big E come in and cash in on Bobby Lashley. And again, hats off, happy for Big E to win and get his opportunity with the world title. He deserved it. He definitely can be a world champion. The problem is there was no story behind it. There was no story to back it up. There was no character development. He just stayed where he was. And then when he, as world champion, he did nothing. His match with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series was okay, but it just felt like a match you would see in the main event of Raw. And then he was supposed to have a feud with Seth Rollins for the world title, and then they threw Kevin Owens in there for no reason. Then they just out of nowhere threw in Bobby Lashley. Like they literally just made him not feel important whatsoever. And then Roman Reigns gets sick, so what do? They have Brock Lesnar come over, and yes, I love the match, the Fatal 5-Way, but they have Brock Lesnar win. I get it, you want to make Brock Lesnar, even though we'll talk about that in a separate video, you want to make Brock Lesnar look strong going up against Roman Reigns, but you have Big E drop the belt to Brock Lesnar, don't even get a rematch, and get kicked to the curb back to the tag team division on SmackDown? Like, they really did Big E dirty. They really did. And again, if you kept going with him, like, shedding off, the happy-go-lucky New Day gimmick, showing a more serious side that he showed, when he had that match with Sheamus, in the build for his feud with Apollo Crews last year. You had something there, but then you just... And I'm not saying that New Day sucks, just New Day is not meant to be a main event gimmick. New Day is a team gimmick. Kofi Kingston got over with Kofi Mania, not because he was the New Day, because he was Kofi Kingston, and it was telling the story of Kofi Kingston. It had nothing to do with New Day. Yes, he had Big E and Xavier Woods as friends in his corner, supporting him. That's fine. You could have done the same thing with Big E being world champion. But the thing is, you had to have the story. This isn't New Day winning the world title. This is Big E winning the world title. The character development comes from the single character. We get invested in the tag team because who is this team? We get invested in Big E because who is Big E? And there was zero character development for Big E as world champion, which is what really hurt his run. That, and he was just, once again, like everybody else, except if your name's Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, you were given, or Charlotte Flair, you were given absolutely nothing to work with. I heard right around day one, I heard rumors that Big E was supposed to go to WrestleMania as world champion and fight John Cena. I would have been okay with that. Okay, yes, that kind of makes me look like a hypocrite because I'm going to, rant on how just WrestleMania is full of nothing but part-timers this year. But at least Big E, someone fresh as a single star, was going to get the rub some sort of way. Like, as New Day, tag champ, as New Day, how many times did New Day actually win at WrestleMania? I don't think they did once. Let me think here, because WrestleMania 31 was their first WrestleMania as a team. They lost in the pre-show. 32, they lost to the League of Nations. 33, they were the hosts. 34, they got squashed by the Bludgeon Brothers. Were they in anything for 35? I was there, and I don't think they were. Well, of course, they were there for Kofi. But they didn't win anything there. 36, they lost because they lost in the triple threat ladder match. And last year, even the team lost the tag titles. New Day has never won at WrestleMania. And last year, Big E lost to Single Star, which, I was okay with him losing to Apollo last year, but you couldn't have given him the rub as world champion. Instead, you're just throwing Big E to the side, and you're merging the titles with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And again, I'm okay with Roman being... I'm off topic here. I'll say that for another video. But like I said, you couldn't even give Big E the rub to be world champion going into WrestleMania? It was just not fair. They did him dirty. They threw him on the world title on him just to say that, hey, we made him world champion. But again, it was nothing memorable. Nothing memorable. Like, how many people are going to remember Big E's world title run? We're going to remember that was legendary about it, historic about it. It's just, it's pitiful. Like again, like, you know, I don't get it. WWE has literally no stars besides Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, of course. Again, there is literally nobody. And Vince McMahon thinks his company is okay in standing? The big question everybody keeps saying, WrestleMania 39, rumored to be Rock and Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania 39 next year is worried. What on earth are they going to do after? And they don't care. There is no stars whatsoever. Big E should have been built up as a star, not just as a world champion, but as somebody who could potentially dethrone Roman Reigns. And they blew it. Why? Just to draw a rating on a Raw during desperate times when you knew AEW was booming in business because they were getting stars that were actually going to be treated right with respect? And I'm going to do a video also talking about that as well. It's okay if you like AEW more than WWE. It's okay if you don't like WWE more than AEW. It's okay if you think Big E's championship reigns was a success or if that was a flop like I did. I hate to say it because I love Big E and he deserved the spot, but it wasn't his fault, but it was a flop, just like everything else in this company. It's okay if you don't agree with me, but don't be firing the shots at me saying like, well, why do you think, what, well, how could it be that way if he won all the titles? Okay, he won titles. Are you going to remember anything from them? Like I said, I read off a few things I'll remember from Big E's singles run he had this past year. The Falls Count Anywhere match with Sheamus, winning your Continental title against Sami Zayn on Christmas, him winning Money in the Bank, him cashing on Bobby Lashley, and then he gets jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. Like, they could, if they wanted to keep a main eventer, they could have had him face Brock Lesnar in a rematch at least. That's a match I'd like to see, Big E and Brock Lesnar. But no, they couldn't do that. They just had to kick him back to the curb. Who'd he piss off? I don't know. But that's my thoughts. That's my rant on Big E losing his singles push in WWE. Maybe they'll give him another shot again someday. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But guys, that is my thoughts on Big E's singles push coming to an end. What are your guys' thoughts on Big E's singles push coming to an end? What were your thoughts also on his singles run altogether in 2021? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And make sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content to my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. Until then guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all in my next video. Peace out everybody.